Want to see a magic trick?
You enjoying the show?
Shall we get on with it?
The return of the world's most enigmatic illusionists is finally on the horizon, and fans of the thrilling, stylish, and intellectually tantalizing Now You See Me series can rejoice as the long-awaited third installment, Now You See Me 3, is officially in development. Years have passed since audiences were last dazzled by the Four Horsemen's mind-bending feats of magic and cunning, and in that time, the world of cinematic storytelling has only grown more sophisticated, making the return of this franchise even more exciting. With whispers of new characters, deeper mythology, and an expansion of the secretive world introduced in the first two films, this next chapter aims to elevate the illusion to an entirely new level. The very concept of magic and deception has evolved since the release of the first film, and Now You See Me 3 is poised to reflect that evolution both thematically and visually. At its heart, the franchise has always balanced high-stakes heists with the thrill of misdirection, and the third film intends to push these boundaries further, not just relying on sleight of hand, but digging deeper into psychological manipulation and technological integration. While the original movies captivated audiences with their brilliant blend of spectacle and story, the new film seems determined to take the mythology of the Eye, the mysterious organization that governs the world, of magicians to new narrative heights. The Eye has always been this enigmatic, almost omniscient force pulling strings behind the scenes, and in this chapter, it's expected that we'll dive deeper into their origins, intentions, and reach. This will add a more grounded, potentially darker undertone to the otherwise flashy storytelling, creating a narrative duality that elevates the stakes. Longtime fans will be thrilled to know that some of the original cast members are expected to return, bringing back the chemistry that made the earlier films so memorable. These familiar faces may now be dealing with the consequences of their past illusions, perhaps finding themselves at odds with each other or challenged by new younger talent eager to rise in the ranks of the magical underworld. Daniel Atlas, Merritt McKinney, and Jack Wilder are names that fans have come to associate with daring heists, breathtaking escapes, and intellectually complex tricks that blur the line between reality and illusion. Their return in Now You See Me 3 will be more than just nostalgic fan service. This installment will reportedly explore how their lives have changed since they last vanished into the shadows under the Eye's direction. Have they become disillusioned with the Eye's mysterious leadership? Have personal ambitions or emotional scars from past missions created fractures in their unity? These are the kinds of questions the third film seeks to answer. On the flip side, the introduction of new magicians will bring a fresh dynamic into the mix, challenging the status quo and potentially threatening to expose secrets that were never meant to see the light of day. This blend of legacy and innovation is key to reinvigorating the franchise, ensuring it remains relevant in a landscape full of reboots and sequels. The screenplay for Now You See Me 3 has reportedly undergone multiple revisions over the years, a sign not of production troubles, but of the studio's dedication to perfecting the story. The creative team behind the project is well aware of the high expectations fans carry. The previous films were not just box office successes. They were cultural phenomena that reignited interest in stage magic and complex layered storytelling. The third installment must live up to this legacy, and that means weaving a narrative that's both intelligent and accessible, thrilling and emotionally resonant. To that end, the writers have focused on building a plot that doesn't just rely on increasingly elaborate tricks, but one that also explores character development, moral dilemmas, and the philosophical tension between illusion and truth. With stakes potentially higher than ever, the Horsemen may be facing a world where the cost of failure isn't just exposure, but destruction. In terms of tone, Now You See Me 3 will likely be more mature than its predecessors. While the ATI previous films often balanced a lighthearted tone with intense action and suspense, this film may dive deeper into the characters' inner conflicts. The glamour of being a world-famous magician, always one step ahead of law enforcement and rivals, comes with psychological consequences. Fame, trust, and betrayal are ripe thematic elements for exploration, especially considering the morally gray nature of many of the Horsemen's missions. Their use of magic as a weapon against corruption and injustice always put them on a thin ethical line, and in this third chapter, that line might finally blur into something unrecognizable. The Eye's true nature and intentions could be brought into question, forcing the Horsemen to confront the very organization they once pledged loyalty to. Such a twist could provide a rich vein of drama and conflict, pushing each character to evolve in ways we've never seen before. From a visual standpoint, fans can expect the same slick, kinetic style that made the first two films a feast for the eyes, but with technological enhancements that reflect how far cinema has come in the last decade. Innovations in visual effects will allow for more immersive illusions and stunts that defy logic while remaining grounded in emotional stakes. Director-led choices will likely prioritize practical effects where possible, maintaining the tangible sense of wonder that made the original films stand out from other effects-driven blockbusters. The challenge, of course, lies in keeping the magic believable. When tricks become too reliant on CGI, they lose the charm and awe that true sleight of hand creates. That's why the third film is likely to strike a balance, merging traditional techniques with modern visual storytelling to create something that feels both timeless and cutting-edge. Adding another layer of intrigue is the potential for international settings. The previous movies took viewers on a globe-trotting adventure from Las Vegas to Macau, and Now You See Me 3 will likely continue that tradition. This not only opens the door for diverse cultural interpretations of magic, but also presents new arenas for the Horsemen to perform their illusions. Whether it's ancient European cities steeped in mystery, modern metropolises lit by neon, or hidden corners of the world where magic is part of local tradition, the global scale raises the stakes and enriches the narrative texture. These backdrops will also be integral to the plot, serving not just as stages for illusions, but as symbolic spaces where secrets are buried and revelations await. Of course, one of the most exciting elements about the new installment is the possibility of new antagonists. Every magician needs a rival, and the Horsemen are no exception. Whether it's a rogue former Eye member, a government agency bent on controlling magic, or a corporation using tech to simulate and commercialize illusions, the enemies in Now You See Me 3 promise to be more formidable and morally complex than ever before. They may even mirror the Horsemen in skill, creating a game of chess where every move is anticipated and countered, and where deception is both a weapon and a vulnerability. The ideological clash between true magic and artificial illusion could become a major theme, forcing our heroes to prove that authenticity still holds value in a world obsessed with simulations. There's also the lingering question of legacy. As the original Horsemen begin to consider their futures, the idea of passing the torch becomes inevitable. This doesn't mean sidelining the beloved characters, but rather setting up a dynamic where mentorship, rivalry, and succession all intersect. New characters introduced in this film may begin as adversaries or skeptics, only to find themselves drawn into the Horsemen's circle through a shared belief in the power of magic to inspire change. This kind of multi-generational narrative allows for a richer, more layered story that appeals to both longtime fans and new audiences. It also opens the door for future installments or spin-offs, ensuring that the magic doesn't end with this film. The music and score are also expected to play a crucial role, as in previous entries. A pulsating, sophisticated soundtrack will amplify the suspense, underscore the emotional beats, and accentuate the grandeur of each trick. Music has always been an invisible magician of its own in this series, guiding the viewer's emotions and subtly cueing shifts in tension and tone. Expect the third film to leverage music not just as background noise, but as an integral narrative tool that enhances the storytelling rhythm. Whether it's through orchestral swells, sharp staccato beats, or hauntingly minimal themes, the score will reflect the dual nature of the story, the glittering surface and the dark undercurrent. As production ramps up, anticipation continues to grow. Fans have waited patiently for a sequel that doesn't just rehash old tricks, but introduces new layers to the mythos. Now You See Me 3 is shaping up to be just that, a continuation that respects the past while boldly moving forward. The creative team knows that magic isn't just about fooling the eye. It's about engaging the heart and the mind. This understanding is what made the first two films so compelling, and it's what will make the third one unforgettable. With an ensemble cast bringing charisma, intelligence, and emotional depth, and a story that promises to challenge perceptions and deepen lore, the film is more than just another chapter. It's a new beginning. Expect twists that reframe previous events, secrets hidden in plain sight, and revelations that not only change the characters,